morning, everybody. I didn't realize it was raining this hard. I didn't think it was when I sent them out back. And I have the Pocket. So this is going to be quick. But good morning, everybody. And happy Tuesday. Alright, we need to get under trees. Try not to get this thing too soaking wet. Ah, darn it. Alright, well, I woke up and I'm like, oh, this doesn't smell good in here. We have many puppy messes on the puppy pads, and some that didn't quite make that. Deep cleaner's already been out. Oh, jeez. Are you gonna go potty? Are you just gonna stand there and wiggle your nose like a witch? You're going potty. Good boy. Alrighty, boom, done. We're gonna just try to go down through this area where there's some tree cover for me. I thought about grabbing the Action. Unfortunately, the Action's got a lot of footage on it from last night as the thunderstorms rolled in. I've got drone footage of some lightning. I might have had it turned down just a little too much, but nonetheless, there's definitely some light ups and a lot of detail with that. I'm not gonna lie, it does look pretty sharp from what I've seen so far. I got to get the Mac hooked back up to the TV. For some reason, it did not connect right away, so I unplugged it. And I did use the battery again because it's been staying at 100% for a while now. So I'm gonna go with, so I switched over to that clear icons and whatnot. I don't think too many people are going to want to use that. They're very difficult to see. I think I'm gonna switch back to normal, to be honest with you. I've tried it for the night. I picked it up this morning. I'm like, I can't really tell what's what anymore. It's a muscle memory. If you don't know how your phone's set up, if you don't have good memory of pressing buttons, then yeah, you're not gonna find your apps too easy with that setting. But didn't play around too awful much. Did go back and watch Brandon Butch's after video, and now there is a new update, when you connect your AirPods, you can actually turn on beta software for AirPods. So I did that. I don't see a firmware update yet. I'll have to check that today to see if there's anything, because of all the live translation stuff, they really thought the AirPods were gonna get mentioned and they did not. So, but yeah, took the drone out last night because Tim said, we've got heat lightning. I went outside and it was thunder and lightning. And I only had it about 50 some feet in the air, and the wind up there was already getting a little bit, it was woo. Like, okay, so 21 and 24 feet. I didn't really clear the trees behind the house, but like I said, you don't have to go real high because you can angle the gimbal upward and capture that way. If you do have a windy situation, you don't have to go high if you're trying to shoot skywise. If you're trying to actually get up over something, yeah, then you got a problem. So got a lot of editing to do, and is the rain stopping now? Hell, she's done so many potties. She just tinkled, so at least I know she's got that out of the way. She ate breakfast, which was very shocking. I didn't think she was going to want to eat, and she did. So get my cup of coffee and get hopefully hooked back up to the computer, or get back to the TV and get editing yesterday's video. Hopefully this rain decides to move out for a little bit and we can actually get a little legitimate lap here in a little while. The only thing I need to do today is I have a check from Mom I'd like to run over and put in the bank. Come on, Priya! Before work. And I gotta get some money to pay back someone that helped me out. So I will try to get out here probably in the 11 or 12:15 range instead of the 11 or 12:45 range. So anybody wondering how I go about cutting lightning? Now this is just the drone footage. Like I mentioned, I did put the drone up in a thunderstorm. It wasn't raining yet, but just to give you a glimpse of cut footage. I don't know if it's really going to show up too well on this. There's a little bit of a glare. So these are individual cuts at 25% speed. 10% is too slow. 25 seems to be a pretty decent number where you can still see it, but it still moves. Now, if you look at the timeline moving down there, there's a lot of cuts. So the trick I have recently learned is the trick I've recently learned is the footage automatically slow it down to 25%. That way, when you get into the timeline and start playing it, lightning is very fast and you can miss it really easy at normal speed. So if you already have the footage slowed down, see, all this is cut out, all the black. Now, I did have the drone probably turned down maybe a little too much, or maybe I had it dead on. I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of it come out really clear. Oop. Now, if you were in full speed, you'd have never saw that little bleep. Now, I did get a lightning bolt, maybe 2 of them, I think. Okay, so light, dark, break, and then I kind of focus back. And that was a really quick one. So it's a really, even at 25% speed, it is just a micro clip. If that was running at normal speed, never would you have seen that. It would probably just flashed right past your eyes. And then we can just take out all the gobbledygook and start playing again until you see another light up. But that's how I cut lightning. It's tedious, it's time consuming. Because instead of this clip being maybe, say it was 52 seconds long, it's 75% longer than that. We got another one, so then we can scroll back 1 click at a time, which again takes forever because there's so many more frames. I did switch the drone over from 30 to 60 at one point. I think this might be the last clip. See how fast I went past that? I have been clicking back forever. That's just how fast lightning is. There's going to be a little more light up than that. Maybe not. And you always want to kind of check on either side because there can be extra flashes occasionally as well. Okay, there's where it starts. I tried to get it from right before and right after to make it look like it's all in sequence. Very tedious, but I think the end result is worth the effort. Please don't mind the messy table. You know, I've got my camera on there and the gimbal cover, my cup of coffee, my remote. Anyway, inside joke. So this is how I filmed that with the Pocket 3. I put on the Action 5 handle, and this is where these Action mounts come in very handy, that you have the ability to connect to anything action-wise. And it gave me the height I needed. Otherwise it was too low to film that. I am going to release that video with lightning separate as well. But I just wanted to show this real quick. I did forget a video with the groundhog from the iPhone yesterday, but oh well. You know, honestly, taking this out in the field like this wouldn't be a bad idea because this goes up quite high. But having the OM6's base feet gives you a much wider stance, because right there is the Pocket feet. Much narrower. This gives you more stability, so if you're out and you want to do a shot where you're in it and you need to get a little bit of height, I think you have just a bit more stability with this. So, and you can go up quite high, but having this little plate on here so I can action mount makes things so much more convenient. Alrighty, we are getting back out for legitimate doggy walks now. It is gorgeous outside. Sun is shining, cloudy a little bit, but blue skies. So, and we're getting our notice that they're changing the water bill again. They are now charging the complex, and we have to pay it through the rent portal. I don't know. Hopefully this waives fees because, oh, what are we doing? We filling in holes? Oh, they must be repairing the yard from the gas company. That's a UGI little van. Mailman's here. I do have my keys on me, so if he's done, we'll get it done. Got little man out right now. Mr. Mateo, we recorded way too much video yesterday. Way too much. So the Action 5 footage will be released at a different time. I know I have over an hour at 120 frames per second facing this way. So we're gonna have to work on that. That's going to take a while. That might just be a standalone video. You got to get my mileage. Let's take a quick look here. See if I can switch hands without dropping someone. See what the weather is up to. Franz, where's Franz? That's the Weather Channel, there's Franz. The widget is working a lot better. It's still a little bit off. 67 degrees, 19 degrees Celsius. Not too bad out. The humidity is kind of there. I've actually been putting the Pocket in my back pocket. That's one thing, is the ability to carry the Pocket is so much easier than carrying the other one because of the longer handle. I need to figure a shorter handle for that. I'm going to be completely honest. I would almost thought that would have been on the Complex, because to fill in the ruts from when they had to drive into the yard. Because that's really not, you know, UGI's fault that the yard sank. But hey, it's cool that they're doing it. Like, kudos to them, really. So they're got a little dump truck, not a real big one, like a utility truck with a dump on it and a load of dirt, and they're filling in the ruts in the yard. So that's good on them, you know. You can almost see that going either way, really, because it's not, I don't know. All right, we're gonna, so I was looking at some analytics. We were up to 830 subscribers. Thank you very much. Gained 15 in the last 28 days. Definitely see some big views on some videos. Some odd ones, honestly. I don't really know what caused the push to some of those videos. I'm not gonna argue with it. And I kind of want to take a poll. I wish I knew how to add a poll. I should research that, to go after the record for 1031 or to retire from daily and do occasional videos. So well, I'm just going to put that out there in the comments. I know there's been some of you that have commented, please don't stop, whatnot, but I kind of want to get, if people could chime in. The interesting part about the analytics is I'm almost even with unsubscribed viewers versus subscribed viewers. It's like 54 unsubscribed and 50 or 46 subscribed that are returning viewers. So those 54%, if you're coming back on a regular basis, it's free. Just hit that subscribe button. We cross 1,000, this channel can maybe start to survive on some revenue, which would be really, really sweet. I'm not asking for you to donate any money. I'm not that type of person. I was joking the other day when I said, and I figured it out. I actually did the math. If 830 subscribers one time donated $39.95, it would be over $32,000 to put into the channel. That's crazy. When I was watching Brandon Butch's video yesterday, he made bank on chat, on the people donating to his chats and stuff yesterday. It was crazy. People were donating super chats and whatnot. He was raking bank on making that video yesterday. That was insane. I'm sitting there going, gee whiz. Oh, and partially must be nice. Not gonna lie, you know, don't do live streams, but nonetheless, it was kind of wild to see. It's like I'm glad for the people that have it, that can donate it to people that have, you know, millions of subscribers and are already making revenue and have sponsor deals. And it's like, that's why I'm sitting here going, you don't need my money. I work hard for it, and I can't afford to give it to you when you're already making probably tenfold of what I make. All right, definitely going for a much shorter video today. I actually called Mom on that walk to reclaim my Gatorade. I want to leave her one so she can try it, and then pick them up so I can take them to work and put them in the refrigerator, because the electrolytes does help out when you're busy working, for sure. I really don't want to have to buy another one right now. Get another lap in here, another mile, and then we'll be closer to our goal for the day. The wind is blowing a little bit right now. It's crazy because the wind down here is not as much as once you get above. Of course, the buildings do, I think, stop some of it as well. All right, Princess pulling over for a piddle. Oh yeah, what a day. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going to get a chance to work on that Action 5 lightning footage, because like I said, it is at 120 frames per second, so hopefully we got something good. The first round though, I did kill the battery after I think an hour and 17 minutes at 120. So the second round was plugged in. That is a good battery test. 4K 120 for over an hour, because I know the second clip was like, might have been like an hour and 26 minutes. I have to look at the actual times, because the one piece was over an hour and then the other one was 13 minutes before the battery crapped out on it. Now it will give you high heat warnings to just let you know that. It was indoors with air conditioning behind a curtain because I was trying to keep the glare off the window. But there might be some good ones on there. I don't know. I really don't. So my goal tonight, when I get off of work and it gets dark outside, is, weather pending of course, and wind, is to take the drone out, put it up in the air, and start playing around with the ISO and shutter speeds. Now Mike said 400. I feel like with the drone, 400 is a little on the high side with that f1.7. I had it at 100 last night, and I think I was running 1/60th of a second on the shutter. So I want to kind of play around with what I think is going to be the best scenario. I should have done it over the weekend. There were some fireworks going off in the area, but they were very short, and I would have, by the time I heard them, they were done. So I would have never gotten out and get them. A lot of the river lots will shoot fireworks off. I've done that in the past with the Mavic 2. I really want to get this tuned in so when we get to the river for the 4th of July, I don't have to think about what I need to do. Just have it set. I'm not going to have the ND filter on, obviously, and hopefully have a good idea of where I need to be. I think 100 and 160 might be a little bit too low, but it might not be, because the fireworks will be going off in a lot more succession, and there will be hopefully clear skies, so there won't be any interruptions. Whereas the clouds with the lightning, it's a different scenario. You're not, if it was just getting lightning bolts last night, I think I would have been dead on, because the couple that I did see in the video were pretty impressive to me. They're really clear. So we'll see. Maybe that is the setting. 100 and 1/60th of a second might be the right thing, but I kind of want to do some testing. But it's hard with not having the type of subject I'm going to be filming for fireworks to test, if that makes any sense. Should. I mean, if you're just filming a night sky with no flashing lights, it's not going to give you the same effect as what the fireworks will. I think the reason Mike's telling me 400 is that I can actually have a little bit of a faster shutter. The lower the ISO, the slower the shutter to get it to brighten up. So that's why I need to bring the ISO up to speed up the shutter. So I'm getting the flashes, but just don't want it to be overblown. That's the biggest thing. The last time I did it, it didn't focus either. Now last night, focus-wise, I was fine. I was seeing very clear clouds. Mr. Sun, you are warm today, that is for sure. Oh boy. I don't think it's still in, it might be like in the 70s now, I haven't looked, but come on, what are you doing? She's like, I'm sniffing and watching traffic come down. Come on, let's walkie walk. Daddy's got to get a shower, stop at Mom's and get my Gatorade, go to the bank. Daddy's got things to do, Priya. You gotta go to bed with Mom. She's like, how dare you. We got out yesterday and we didn't even get out of the car because Daddy was stupid. It was 81 degrees and we didn't have water with us. We need to get them home and get them a drink. At least my car has air conditioning. That's why I didn't take, the other reason I didn't take her car. I knew it was too warm for that. Oop, we gonna trot? A little bit. So editing the video, watching back between the clips through here that were side by side, I think I have them tuned in pretty close to each other. at least as close as I can get the Action 5 and the Pocket 3 to look similar. So it'd be interesting once that I meant to check and see if it was done exporting. I doubt it was, or rendering, so I could export, because that is like a 40-some minute video. That's going to take a hot minute. That might not actually get done in time, and I might have to leave before I can upload it. We'll see. We'll try. I really meant to look at it and I forgot to. Shit. Because if it was already exporting, we might have had a better chance. But no, I mean, there's definitely a different field of view, and there's definitely a little bit of a difference in look, but it passable. I think they look close enough alike that when you have to switch over, it's not a big, you're not losing tremendously in quality or anything like that. Maybe just a little different tone color wise. So one of the new features with the iOS 26 and the AirPods is there's actually a toggle that you can keep the AirPods connected to your phone if, say, you got in your car and started up. And Brandon Butch is like, I don't know why you would do that. I do. If you're on a phone call on your AirPods and you get in your car and you connect to it and the audio changes to that really tinny sounding versus keeping it in your AirPod, you should only ever be using one when you're driving a vehicle, ladies and gentlemen, and you should never be using noise cancellation. That is illegal. I don't care where you're at. I see people doing that all the time. But you are allowed to have one AirPod in or one hearing thing in for Bluetooth. But yeah, it would be, get away from that. It'd basically be if you're on a phone call, I think, and you get in your car, that you keep the call on your AirPods, making it still clear for the other end. But in case anybody is curious, you know, it's, yeah, you have to basically connect your AirPods by opening the case or having them in and go into the settings and toggle all the way to the bottom, and it's keep connected if other device connects. Good evening, everybody. It is a beautiful one too. For the first time in a while, we didn't get cloud cover. You may have already seen the drone flight, or you will be seeing the drone flight. Not sure which way I'm going to play that. Plus, I got a lot of lightning still to cut from yesterday. But we got Princess here, getting on her last walk of the night. Hopefully she does her business. And then get little man out and then get me some food, because spaghetti was made for dinner and I'm hungry. And quite the pretty sky tonight. Have to get up pretty high because there's no clouds for it to reflect off of to make it really bounce off, but literally there's no clouds right now. We're supposed to have a clear night, but we are supposed to have some wind gusts overnight up to 12 miles an hour. So I don't know if I'm going to do any night testing or not with the drone. It's really not a good night to do it because weekdays people don't set off fireworks. I should say usually don't set off fireworks. Some of the people around here, they don't care what day of the week it is or what time. So usually the river lots, as we get closer to the 4th of July, we'll start, sorry, bug was biting my arm, start setting them off on the weekends. So keep our eyes out for that. But fun night at work, got through it, and now I'm home. Did actually get to see Mom for a minute and did have a roast beef sandwich and did everything I needed to do before work. And she was 4 to 6 more weeks of healing for her arm. So, but it is healing, that's the good news. We need to keep mindful of Mr. Bear or Miss Bear and Mama Bear. I don't really need to run into them. I'll be clapping and yelling and everything else. Because Priya is not a bear snack. You know what? I don't think we should go down this way. Mosquitoes are already out higher up and let her investigate this grass, and then we're going to move on to within the confines of the apartment, even though the bear was actually spotted in the confines of the apartment at one of the dumpsters. Maybe we're safer down here.